Good morning, guys. Today I wanted to touch base a little bit on what do you do when you start feeling overwhelmed on the homestead. So that could be with the mess that's accumulated throughout the winter, which is something I'm dealing with right now, and I'm having a really hard time dealing with it. I have this thing where I can't function. I get very overwhelmed when my surroundings are a mess. And I used to think that, well, it's just because I didn't like mess and wanted things to look nice, and that's true, but it's to a point where it alters my mood. So it makes me, well, angry. I'll be quite honest with you. Very angry. I get frustrated, angry, start yelling, and just, for me in my brain, I can't understand why things do not get cleaned up or put away right after use. But the difference is, it's not just that. So right now, as you guys know, we're trying to find a new property, and cannot tell you how frustrating this process has been. So we went to Maine this last time, as you saw, and that property that we really wanted, which was the one that you saw Ayden and I walking through the woods and everything this last video, we really wanted that. And it figures that it's on the market what seems like forever, and when we go to put an offer in, all of a sudden there's another offer. So here's the thing, we're a cash offer. So what we have to do is sell our house, take the cash from the house, and buy the other property. That has its ups and its downs. So it's promising for people because they like the fact that it's a cash offer, but they don't like the contingency of having to sell our house in order to do it. But in this case, that wasn't the problem. So the problem was that although the asking price for the house was still in our price range, it didn't leave us a lot of wiggle room for remodeling. Well, I mean, honestly, we need to gut the entire place and redo it. It literally, you saw some of it. It needs to be gutted. So it didn't leave a lot of wiggle room for that. So we offered something lower to give us that space so that we could redo it. And then we were outbid, not by much, but it was that little bit that put it over the top, even though we did find out that the other buyers also had contingencies, like plural. We don't know what they are, but whatever it was enough to put them over the top. So right now that place is pending with somebody else, which is killing me. It is killing me. We really wanted that place. But it's pending right now, but I'm constantly watching it because there's a possibility that it may not go through. And I mean, I'm not trying to be mean to other people, but we really just wanted that property. So what's been happening is that I have been getting, and this was happening before this property, I've just I have felt really overwhelmed with being here. And it's not just the animals. That is a huge part of this, but honestly it goes deeper than that. It's just a lot of things into one that is making me feel like I am losing my mind. I went to the doctors recently, my oncologist, and my blood pressure's up a little bit, and I'm like, gee, I wonder why. I have had like so much stress lately, and then now, like, today's a nice day, so we're outside and gonna get things cleaned up and organized, but I look at it all and I'm like, I want to run away. Like, I'm not even kidding. It is so overwhelming to me. And it's weird because, you know, last year, any other time, it's not affecting me that much. I don't understand. This year, for some reason, I think it's because I'm so intent on moving and having a bigger property and just kind of finally settling down, because being here is like, I've said it a million times, we knew this was never our permanent homestead. And I'm at the point now where I'm done being here and I want to move to our permanent homestead so that we can just lay those roots, be done, and that's it. But in the meantime, we have to make do with what's here. We have to sit here and deal with what we have to deal with. And I don't want to sound like I'm ungrateful, because I'm not. I'm very grateful for having a home and being able to do what we do in the way that we have to do it right now. But I'm sure lots of you have had this feeling where you're just like, I'm done. I am ready to move on. It is time. And that's where I'm at. That's where Matt is even at. And he's way more laid back than I am when it comes to this stuff. We're just ready. We're ready to be done. Even the kids are ready. They're done with it. And that is saying a lot, because although they're like, yeah, you know, we could move. This last property, they really wanted this property. So we're keeping an eye out on it. I check it constantly to see if it's still pending. We have our realtor, who we finally found a good realtor. I mean, fingers crossed it stays that way. She's been very helpful. She is supposed to keep an eye on it as well. She's in touch with the seller's realtor to kind of go back and forth. So if it does end up going back on the market, we'll be the first to know. I was telling them about the property that we wanted, that, you know, it's on the market forever, and then all of a sudden when we put a bid, there's another bid. And how bad we wanted it.
Yeah.
Are you disappointed?
I am disappointed. But I have hope.
You have hope. He has more hope than I do. Why do you have hope?
Because I think that it's going to fall through for them, and...
But why?
Because I think that whatever their contingency is, that will fall through because of that. And then we'll get snatched up, because they have
Do you
a
think
loan
it has to do with the loan?
Yeah.
There's no way this place would pass an FHA loan, ever, in a million years. It needs a complete gut job, so it would never pass that.
Nope.
But if they have a
Inside or out.
conventional loan, it could.
Could, but why is there contingencies? So it means that there's, if it is a conventional loan, then they are contingent on, I don't know, the yard being cleaned up, or the
Maybe selling their own
septic.
house.
Yeah,
Who
they're selling their
knows?
own house.
Who
The
knows?
septic's got to pass, whatever. So
The point is, I guess you're right. There's a little bit of hope still. I mean, it sounds like we're like wanting to sabotage the other people, but honestly, we're out of time frame as far as I'm concerned. That's what keeps going through my head for a few different reasons. But honestly, for my sanity and yours.
Well, my sanity
Because of mine.
is on her sanity.
Exactly. Well, that being said, we're keeping an eye and we're still looking. On a brighter note, stuff's coming up in the greenhouse now. I'll show you guys, but I need one of those, what are these? The tripods that are like quick, like the Justin Rhodes kind, where it's, you hit a button and it opens and closes. I don't know if you guys saw that video of his. He's like, I'm not extra, it's just really fast. I'm like, I get it, man. As a vlogger, I totally get it. Anyway, here we go. Lettuces coming up. You see them? Teeny tiny guys. These only took a few days. I planted, as you saw in that video, before we went to Maine. And this was what it was when we got back. So, I just watered these yesterday, but they already, well, you can kind of see they're still a little damp. But so this is arugula right here. This is, you can see the little lettuces coming up. We got some Swiss chard. More lettuce. Still waiting on these onions, guys. I hope this tray comes up of onions. I think it takes a little bit longer, but boy, do I want onions. We went through that whole situation in a video about growing onions, and these are from seed this time. So we're, you know, fingers crossed that that works. We also have some broccoli coming up. Look at this. Look at these little guys. Not sure why that's blurry, but yeah. So there you go. Little broccolis. You can see these all coming up on this one too. And just a whole bunch of stuff going. What I've been starting is the cold weather crops, the brassicas, that kind of stuff. Oh yeah, there's broccoli over here coming up. I didn't even see that till just now. No cauliflower yet. I'm sure that'll be soon. But in the meantime, we are still prepping the beds in the front, which actually we got to go out and switch the chickens over. They've been on there like 4 days, I think, on that one. So we're gonna switch them to the next one, get them going. It's funny because they're laying eggs in those. When we had them over here, we didn't have any eggs from them. We have 1 million eggs from the chickens up at the farm, but these guys were withholding. They were holding back. But now we're starting to get a few every day. So now, which means we're in like crazy eggs right now. There's a lot of eggs. I love my greenhouse. Do you guys have a special place that you like to be? I mean, this greenhouse was like completely just, we winged it and made it. There's no rhyme or reason, no measurements. I mean, we did measurements, but there's no like blueprints for it or anything. Just winged it, guys. I think it came out pretty good. All right, I think I'm gonna go up here. I'm gonna see if I can get this thing moved.
Ready, Sam?
Alright guys, I want to show you the difference between a before and after of where these chickens are. So we just moved them onto this one, which is the last one in this row. So I'm going to do, this one is before, and see everything that's in there, kind of growing up. This is where we just moved the chickens from. Look at the difference in this. Look at the work they do. Alright, so I'm just leveling this out. Found an egg buried in it. Yeah, and I don't have all the tarps. A lot of people will tarp it to keep down weeds and stuff until they're ready to plant. I don't have enough of those to do these beds, so I'm not going to bother with that step. I'm just going to leave it the way it is, but hopefully it won't be too much longer before I can get that stuff planted in here. It's going to be a few weeks, but you know, if the weather cooperates, it'll be right on time.
Special.
Why?
You want to know why I'm special?
Why?
It's because they replaced the windshield,
Yeah.
and they couldn't get an aftermarket windshield
Yeah.
that they usually put on, so they got me a Ford windshield.
Because that means something. So all the car people out there, you'll understand what he's talking about. Me? I don't care. Alright guys, let me show you what we got here for the difference. All I did was rake these down because when a chicken scratches, they make sort of mounds on things. And so all I did was rake them even. Nothing's been stirred up. It's literally just the top layer where I just raked it even. And I want to show you the difference from these 3 beds to the rest. They're working on this last bed, like I said. But you can see these 4, if you look at all of these, you can see what they look like, right? You can see there's all kinds of stuff in there. It's dried out. Doesn't look very healthy, right? And now you can look at these where, like, I showed you before I evened it out. Pretty much looks the same. But you can see what the chickens did. And then all the manure right now is mixed into this top layer, which, you know, when it rains, all the nutrients, everything's gonna just soak right into all of the soil. But you can see the difference. These 3 beds. Right here. That one over there has a little bit of hay in it that I've actually been picking out, and that's just because we had hay over there when we had the animals in here last fall. for an event. So otherwise though, it looks really, really good. These are pretty much ready to go. Just got to get those seedlings grown. Other than that, they're ready. Show you what these ladies are doing in here, if I can. Look at that, already scratching. They just got moved. I don't know if you guys can see. I'm not going to open it because I've got one right here who's ready to escape. But they're already scratching this all up. It doesn't take long. You can see her scratching in there. She's digging for bugs. And when she does it, there's a hole there. And when she does that, she's turning the soil. Now, when they walk around, they're pooping on it. And they get it all mixed in. I mean, seriously, guys, it's like the perfect thing. The perfect way to do this. Otherwise, I gotta get in there and literally dig that up. And honestly, I don't want to do that. No, I don't. Alright guys, we have this mostly cleaned out now. I mean, it could be better, but honestly, I'm just not feeling it today. Yeah. Anyway, we got it mostly clean. We threw away a whole bunch of stuff. Like, we've got a pile over here and stuff we've already brought. So this will do for now. It's clean enough for now. We may come through and maybe do more. I mean, it's really not that bad. Everything is where it needs to be. Another project I want to do, not today. I've tried to limit myself now. I need to not have to do everything in one day. I gotta limit myself. Another one is the bunny run. So you guys know we put hardware cloth over the top of the bunny run, the kids did. Well, we need to clean out the bottoms of the bunny run again, and also replace the male side, the boy side hutch. And it just disintegrated this winter. It just fell apart. So we got to keep them.
Say hi to the camera.
We're gonna go in there and just sort of redo that whole area.
Say hi to the camera.
Bada boo! Bella's just as happy to be out here as we are. One good thing I found while doing this is, actually Ayden found it, is a bag of soil, which is good because I have other cold weather crops to plant, like cabbage. So now that we're done with that shed, and that was like the main project that I wanted to get done today, I'm gonna go ahead, we found that soil, so I'm gonna go ahead and start planting a little bit more. Not much, just want to do the cabbages. And actually I think that's it for now, because everything else for cold weather crops is planted. I'll tell you what, this greenhouse is fantastic. If this stuff was outside and planted, it would never have even germinated. It would have been too cold.
I'm gonna show them. We got a little cutie pie.
Little Bella Boo.
Bada boo! She looks right at me.
I'm gonna put these in here together.
I think I left that new torch.
If you want her to follow you, then say follow me. If you want, I'm going to get her some water.
Thank you for filling this, Ayden.
Bella's really thirsty. She's laying down while drinking.
Hey, that's not where I told you to put that.
Oh yeah, we'll get the.
Alright, so I figured I would finish cleaning off the back deck.
Hey, I mean, she's near your mom.
Hi, Bella. What you doing? Little boo. Kids are trying to train her a little bit more. Go on, Belle. Go on.
Greenhouse Belle.
Come on, Belle.
So the main project. Oh, go on. Go on, Belle.
Greenhouse Belle. Come on. Greenhouse Belle.
So what do you do when you feel overwhelmed on the homestead? Because as you know, if you are farming, homesteading, whatever you want to call it, you know that it is a lot of work all the time. It's like there's never nothing to do.
Come on, get it.
When there's a lot going on, I get overwhelmed. So what I've been trying to do is take it one thing at a time. So my whole life, I've just been like, hey, I'm gonna clean the entire house in a few hours, or I'm gonna get the entire yard cleaned in a few hours. But to me, it was always in a day, it was done. Now it's getting overwhelming. And so I've decided that I'm gonna try to curb my OCD tendencies and work on one thing at a time. So I'll have one project that I'm like, I need to get this done. This is the one thing I need to concentrate on today. And then get that done. And if I feel like continuing to doing something else, I can, but there's no pressure.
Here you go.
What's this for?
Water. It's for you.
Come on, Belle.
Oh, thank you. So the one project today was, sorry, I'm knocking you around the shed. We got the shed done. We have a lot of trash from that shed that we'll end up doing a dump run tomorrow with. But for now, the shed is done, which calms me. It literally calms me. I don't know, does anybody else have that where something gets clean and it immediately brings down that level of sort of anxiety? It calms me. So now I figured, you know, we've got a few other projects to do. I'm just gonna kind of bop around and see. So like I planted the seeds. That wasn't a project I had planned, but it's done. Cleaning off this deck. Wasn't a project I had planned, but I'm doing it because I have the time. I've also realized that if I do it this way, if I say, okay, I've got this project to get done, and I don't give myself too much to do, meaning I don't have, 10 projects that I have to get done in one day, I have noticed that I can... What was that?
That was a truck calling.
Was it on a jack?
It was on 2 jacks on this side.
Oh.
Stay, Belle.
Well, it's kind of weird that it fell, isn't it?
Nah, it's because it's on a hill.
Oh.
Oh, it's like...
Well, I'm just glad you weren't under it.
Yeah, I thought it was...
No, stay.
I can...
Stay, Belle.
I feel good. I'll end up feeling good about what did get done, because that's the project I had, and I won't beat myself up so much about what I didn't get done. Because I tell you, I have done that my whole life. I always am like, oh, I could have gotten 20 things done in a day, but that one thing I didn't get done will beat me up about it.